Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you're here today because in today's video, I will be showing you how to recreate one of my favorite looks from Lady Gaga's 911 music video, which was released just this weekend. And if you're like me, you've probably watched it about 1,000 times. And I am so obsessed with all of the makeup looks and all of the fashion, just everything about those music videos because I am a huge Lady Gaga fan. I have been since the very beginning. I think she became popular right around the time I was graduating from high school, and I just love all of her music. I love all of her messages of self-acceptance and her philosophy around makeup. It very much aligns to how I feel about makeup in that it's a way to practice self-love and self-respect. It's a way to be creative, and it's just a way to have fun and connect with other people and to really practice self-acceptance. That's really what makeup is to me, and so I really connect with Lady Gaga and the message that she puts out there. When I was watching the 911 music video, there was one look in particular that really inspired me. As you can see on my face today, I have attempted to recreate this look, which was created by Sarah Tano, who is Lady Gaga's makeup artist and partner in crime. I have so much respect for her, and I love the work that she does. It's very romantic, but also very graphic and art pop and very editorial. I am just such a fan of hers. So it was a lot of fun to sit down and try to do her work justice. I am very excited about how this look turned out today. I had a ton of fun, and so thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to walk you through this tutorial, so let's just get right into it. Okay guys, I am ready to get started. I have already laid down a lot of my base in preparation, since most of what I've done is kind of my regular routine anyway. Just to let you know, my foundation today is the Morphe 2 foundation. I really like it. It's very dewy, but really liking it so far, and once I finish my whole routine, it ends up having pretty great coverage, and it does last all day, although it's very liquidy, so it can be challenging to learn how to work with and not drip it on your clothes, but maybe that's just a me problem. For my concealer, I am using my regular Revolution concealer in shade C1. I had been using the e.l.f. camo concealer for a while, but I found that it was creasing a ton under my eyes, so I am going back to the Makeup Revolution concealer for now. I did set it instead of with my Fit Me powder. Today I did set it with an HD powder, the translucent powder from e.l.f. I chose to set it with that powder mainly just because I'm testing out some things. As my skin is aging, I am getting more creasing under my eye, but additionally, this eye look specifically has a lot going on underneath the eye, and I didn't want to build up a ton of product underneath my eye that would potentially conflict with the look that I'm trying to create. So I went in with a very small amount of translucent powder just to set that concealer and make sure it doesn't go anywhere, but really not add to like a potential pudding situation underneath my eye. For my contour, I am using the Wet n Wild contour stick on my cheeks and my forehead. On my nose, I do like to use a powder contour, so I'm using the Revolution contour palette, and I am using the butter bronzer as always. I did switch to a lighter shade. I just feel like it's more appropriate for my skin, and I do like the way that it's looking. It looks a little more melty, a little bit more natural. My blush today is from the Lunar Beauty palette, and I did go in a little bit heavier today than I was planning to go, since there is so much going on underneath the eye in this area. I think it might have been a mistake to add that much blush up here, but we're gonna roll with it. She does wear blush in this look. I did check, and I watched the video a ton, and I did check a bunch of photos that were online. And while she's very bronzed and contoured, she does have a hint of blush. So I did add that cooler toned blush from the Lunar Beauty blush palette to this look. I am not going to highlight until the very end. I did do my eyebrows, however, and as always, I am using my ColourPop pencil in Warm Blonde. For my eye primer today, I am using the e.l.f. eye primer in the white shade because I really want to make sure that I have a blank canvas canvas to work with so that the colors really come out. This is a very colorful, if not a little monochromatic look. I want to make sure that I am giving them the best canvas possible, and I do have very oily eyelids, so it's really important that I prime, and that I prime with a good solid eye primer specifically and not a concealer. That's never worked out for me. I am on the eye primer for life train. So I did set parts of my face. I did kind of cut my cheeks with my usual Coty Airspun powder. I set right here, here, and here, but I did not set my entire face. I'm really getting away from doing that. With all of that, I think we're ready to get started. I am very excited to be creating this look today. As soon as I saw the music video, I was just so inspired. I am so obsessed with all of the looks that Sarah Tano Stewart created for this music video. So to create this look, you're actually not going to need a ton of makeup. This look is very blue, and on Lady Gaga's Instagram, she did actually share which shades they used to create this look in the music video. It's from her Stupid Love makeup palette. I unfortunately don't own that palette, but I did go online and I watched some videos and looked at some swatches, and I think I have some similar shades to at least get close to recreating the look. And if you don't have that palette either, essentially what you're going to need is you're going to need like a light sky blue, a more of a cornflowery deeper blue, and if you have an icy blue on top of that, and then some sort of like black shade or really, really dark brown in order to smoke it out. And those are really the eyeshadows that you're going to need. This is not a ton of shades or a ton of weird blending. This is a lot of very different blending, and this does require a little something different skill-wise. So we're gonna walk through that. I'm gonna show you how I kind of figured out how to recreate the look. I am just such a fan. I've always been so inspired by her. I love her music. I am a little monster through and through. So today I am going to be using two separate palettes to create this look. I'm gonna be using the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette and the Morphe James Charles palettes. There's just so many color options. So the color specifically that I'm going to be focusing on in this palette is Brain Freeze right here, this light blue. It's a really beautiful powdery sky blue. I don't know, powdery probably isn't the right word, but this is exactly the type of color we're going for. I am going to go into Brain Freeze, and I'm going to take just a big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to dip into that color. And this look really goes all the way up to that eyebrow. In fact, she does actually blue her eyebrow. This is a very dramatic eye look with a lot of color taken all the way up to that eyebrow. To me, it looks in the video that she's doing a little bit of a mix of a halo eye and kind of a cat eye up on top. So I'm gonna fluff around that blue color first, and then we're gonna add some major definition. One thing that I really like about a lot of Lady Gaga's looks is that they're so graphic in terms of shape. They're so interesting and artful, but they're usually fairly simple. If you look at them really, I mean, some of them are super complicated, but a lot of them are very honestly simple in how they're put together and how they're structured, but they're so unique, and that's what makes them quintessentially Lady Gaga. And I might sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, and that is honestly probably true. It combines a very natural look, a very natural glow with some very unnatural shapes and colors, things that are odd and interesting. Lady Gaga's skin actually looks very, very natural. It's very glowy. It's not so glam. It's not so structured or angular. It's very soft and feminine and bronzy and very Venus-like, but there's certain things that are just drawn out and are very unnatural looking. Sarah Tano really balances this very natural, soft, feminine feminine look with these very like art pop graphic, very interesting, very Gaga. It's little things here and there, and I really like that. And it makes what she does a little bit almost, I wouldn't call it wearable, but almost more wearable. As we go through this, you're probably gonna notice that I don't feel like this was actually way overcomplicated. There's something very simple and very beautiful, but still very unique. So now that we've fluffed all of that blue over above the crease, and remember, I have hooded eyes, so the way that I have to approach my eye makeup may be very different than the way that you have to approach it. So when I'm thinking about how I construct this, I'm thinking about the structure of my eye and the fact that when I look forward, when I look at you, my eyelid is completely disappeared. So when I'm structuring a dramatic eye look, I can't really focus a ton on my eyelid, to be honest. I have to focus outside of the eyelid and around in order to get something to really make a difference. I'm going to take shade Playground on a smaller fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to create a little bit of a halo eye, but I am going to start above the crease here. Just going to fluff it gently and blend it in, and you'll notice that Brain Freeze and Playground actually blend together really, really well. They're in that same blue shade family, but Playground is much deeper. I'm not going to do this halo eye with a cut crease. I'm just going to kind of create the shape as I go in. Gaga doesn't do a cut crease in this look. That would kind of, I think, add to the drama or add to the more glam feeling versus it feeling very editorial. Yeah, I think that's the word I've been struggling with this entire time. Editorial. Gaga does these very natural, very soft looks and then adds in these very editorial pops of color and graphic art pop design and structure. And one thing we want to pay attention to while we are creating this eye look is making sure that everything above the eye is getting lifted up. It's pulling up, because the other half of this is very much pulled down. It's going to drag that eye down. So it's very, you want that contrast, that push and pull. So everything that I'm doing, I'm very much trying to blend upwards and making sure that it's lifting my eye up. I have two halves right here of that halo eye. I'm not going to marry them here. I'm going to keep them separate because I don't want the focus to be on that crease blend. I want it to be on the kind of more cat eye shading that I add on this outside of the eye so that it pulls out. And then that color remains above here to lift that eye. So when I look forward, you can see the pull of that color up. And it adds just a little depth and a little bit more structure without adding additional color, if that makes sense. In the center of the eye right here, I'm going to put my shimmery light blue. This is shade Hello from the James Charles palette. I'm just going to take it on a flat brush right here, and I'm going to pat it in. This isn't a very glittery look, it's not a very glam look, but there is a little bit of a metallic look and feel. And I went a little wide, so I'm just gonna go back in and blend Playground. Okay, next I am taking my pencil brush into a black shade. This is shade Spooky from the James Charles palette. And I'm really going to make sure that I haven't picked up a ton here because I want to go very low and slow into this crease, working with black. And I'm going in with the literal lightest touch possible. And I'm just gonna go in and darken that crease. Not all the way in, I'm just sticking right out here. And if I'm going to blend it all, I'm going to blend it up and out, up and out. So when I look forward, you can see the shadow there, but it's not super stark. It's not super dark, and it's going up and out. It's gonna draw that eye up and wider. Next, I'm going to start at my lower lash line here, blend across and out to create that kind of V shape. Not even taking extra product on the brush, just going in a little bit. Okay. Pretty much the upper eye is almost done shadow-wise. I may have to go in and clean up a few things here and there, but we're gonna focus now on the lower part of the eye. And so I'm gonna take my flat brush here, and I've picked up a little bit of Spooky, just a little, and I'm gonna go in on that lash line and just very barely touching the skin, very softly gonna go and line the lower lash line. I'm not taking it all the way in. Again, I'm trying to pull the eye up and out for this part. And so by taking it in, at least for my eye, it'll really pull it down and it'll look not super glam. I'm a little pale. Additionally, it doesn't help with like the shape that we're trying to create. Next, I am going to take just a small blending brush here into Brain Freeze again, and I'm going to fluff that over my lower lash line, which is gonna help blend out that black a little bit. I'm gonna try to blend those two together, but I am gonna take the blue all the way around. I'm also going to marry it right here. I'm essentially creating right now a very large, fluffy blue cat smoky eye, like a cat-shaped smoky eye with this part of the look. And I am going to kind of flick that color and blend it up and out to just continue creating that more cat-like smoky eye. So for this next part, we're gonna do that lower kind of triangle, almost looks like, I think it's supposed to look like tears, and that goes along with some of the lyrics in the song that I think the lyric is, "Don't see me cry ever again." And so I think that a lot of the blue and the way that it's structured is supposed to look like tears almost. And so I'm keeping that in mind as I'm creating the shape. It looks very much like she has triangles of color coming out at an angle like this. Now the two sides, it doesn't meet into a perfect point, but it does have that kind of triangular shape. In order to create that shape and make sure that I can create very soft but defined lines to that fluffy, that drawn down blue triangle under the eye, I am going to take some of my e.l.f. HD powder. This is the translucent sheer powder. And I'm going to take my very dirty beauty blender, and with a straight edge, this is very important because I'm going to use that straight edge to define the shape and then work within the powder. So if I go outside the lines, that powder will catch a lot of that if I do mess up, but it also won't add anything to the makeup because this formula is so thin and it's translucent. So it's really not going to add any sort of color or heaviness to this look. And I'm just picked up a ton on this beauty blender, and I'm going to go in, and I really want to make sure that it's going like out and not as like down. It's going very much out. The color on this side really does go all the way to the inner corner, but on this side, it starts about here. It doesn't go all the way to the edge. It doesn't draw down from here. It draws down from about here, which makes it look a little bit more tearful, a little bit more like it's coming from her eyes. I've kind of created myself a little stencil that I can work within and fluff that blue around. So with my stencil in place, I am going to take a very fluffy blending brush here. I'm picking up some of Brain Freeze on my brush, and I'm going to very carefully apply the color. And I'm looking up so that I can make sure I can run my brush under that eye and really blend the color together so it looks seamless without it going too much into my creases. I've laid down my blue. I'm just going to take a very fluffy, clean brush. This is a Jaclyn Hill highlighting blush, but it doesn't have anything on it. And I'm just going to blend away that translucent powder. And I'm almost gonna kind of like blend it into that blue to really soften it up and make it look a little less structured and a little bit softer. So we've got that blue structure laid down, and honestly, it couldn't have been easier. It just took a little time to make sure that the product was built up and laid down evenly, but I'm really liking the shape of this, and it's not bringing my eye down too much because of all the work we did up here. I just think it looks really cool. And having just done one eye, this really feels like old school Gaga when she would have like the big glitter star over her eye. We are gonna do both sides, but this just reminds me of just quintessential, like classic Fame Monster Gaga, and I really love it. I kind of can't stop looking at it. I'm really liking it. One thing that I am seeing in the photo is that in this area here, there is a little bit of darkness, a little bit of that darker shade kind of comes down with the blue and gets pulled down. So I'm gonna try and do a little bit of that without ruining this look. So I'm gonna take a different brush. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take a different fluffy brush, and I am going to pick up the literal smallest amount of spooky possible, and I'm going to just gently fluff it down, like the literal smallest amount down here. It's like the shadow. It's the shadow of black. It's not even that there's really a ton there. And just adding a touch more black under the eye to really smoke it out a little bit more. Next, I'm going to be taking a pencil brush into any light highlight inner corner color you have laying around. I do have one that has a little bit more of a blue hue to it that I am really going in on that inner corner. And I'm going to highlight under my brow bone with that as well. Just a little, because I'm going to go in with the same kind of angle brush, and I'm going to take more of shade Hello, which is here, and I'm going to bring it down from that brow and really highlight underneath. And it blends in really nicely, but just adds a little bit more dimension. After highlighting underneath that brow bone with shade Hello to really add just a whole other dimension to the eye, I am pretty much done with the eyeshadow portion of this look. So next I'm gonna go to lining, and I am going to line underneath my eye with just a little white liner. And this actually is not a pure white. This is NYX Faux Whites shade Linen, so it's got more of a pinky hue to it, just to kind of keep my eye open. Having hooded eyes, as you know, it is always a challenge as to how I can make sure my eye stays wide and looking awake. And then I am going to take my Kat Von D, oh, excuse me, it's not Kat Von D anymore, my KVD Vegan Beauty tattoo liner, and I'm going to add a cat eye to this look. And next I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay Lash Free. This is my new favorite mascara, and it makes my eyelashes look like falsies, which for someone that cannot apply false eyelashes, that is very important to me. Okay everyone, that is one eye done, and I am loving how this turned out so far. I think it just looks I love it so much. I feel super fun and kind of pop art and very dramatic and very just Gaga, and I just kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's taken me to a whole other level. Just having even the one eye done. I don't know, this is kind of cool. This is giving me some like mad ideas for Halloween. I am going to go off camera and finish the other eye, and I will be back. Okay, everybody, I am back and this look is complete. I am so happy with how this turned out. I feel so beautiful and so cool, and I am so sad that it is 12:45 at night and that I am gonna have to go and take this off in a few minutes and go to bed. I actually love this so much that I would just live my everyday life with this makeup look on. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I'm so proud of how it turned out, and I had so much fun creating this look. In order to finish it, I did take a little bit of blue eyeshadow and I fluffed it in my eyebrows, as she does have a little bit of a blue tinge to her brows. I also took a little bit of highlighter, Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder. This is in shade Blossom Glow, and I love this one. I think it's so beautiful and it's so light. These pressed ones from Wet n Wild are very, very light, glow from within. You wouldn't know they're there, except that they just add a little something, and I only put it right here. I didn't put highlight anywhere else based on where we have other color. So, well, that's a lot. I put it here, here, and here, and that's really where I kept the highlight to. I didn't want to take away from this really dramatic eye look. And then I used lipstick. So she does use kind of a rosy nude lip in this look. So I kind of combined a few products. I used two Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks. I already owned these. No, I am not buying more Jeffree Star products. If you have questions about that, please watch my last video where I spend time talking about this subject, but I am going to continue to use Jeffree Star products that I still own because I am not a wasteful person and I do enjoy them. So I used shades Christmas Cookie and Mannequin, and then I topped it off with a lifter gloss from Maybelline, and I am in love with these. I officially have 5 of the lifter glosses. This is in shade 4 Silk, and I will end up probably buying every shade of these because they are so good. I am just feeling so cool. I feel just like Lady Gaga. I love how this turned out. It was definitely a challenge to figure out how to get the black to show up but not get it too dark and get everything blended and create the right shapes. Symmetry was really tough too, getting these symmetrical and not having one longer than the other, which I think I did a pretty good job. This was just such a fun thing, and I absolutely adore Lady Gaga. I adore Sarah Tano and all of the looks that she's created with Lady Gaga over the years, so it was really cool to just spend some time in that world and try to recreate this look. So I hope this has been helpful if maybe you're thinking about doing this look for a Halloween costume, or if you just really like Lady Gaga and that's your thing as well. I really hope that this tutorial is helpful and that you enjoyed it and that you had as much fun as I had, because really I could not feel more beautiful and fun, and I wish I never had to take this look off. Thank you so much to my 74 subscribers, and thank you to all of you who may be new to my channel. If you are new and you enjoyed this video, please give this video a like and subscribe down below. Consider leaving a comment and let me know what you liked about this video. I'm really excited to meet you all whenever you do leave a comment. It's really fun to be able to interact with you, so I'd really enjoy just the opportunity to meet you down in the comment section. And thank you all so much for being here and spending your time with me. I will see you in the next one. Bye! If I could find your right, I'd fix you with my love. Ew, so itchy. Promise I'll always be there. I'll be your cure. Thirsty bitch. I think that looks bad. I'll fix you with my love. You have made a mistake. Come see me cry, this is the end. Happy little accidents. Freak out, freak out, freak out, freak out. Look at me. Get down, get down, get down, get down. Look at me. What the fuck is that? Ugh.